What's good, y'all? We finished up the Philly 10K on August 23rd, and it was a lot of fun, a lot of great energy. I got to spend a lot of time with my family too, which is always very special to me. And in this week's video for our Philly 10K race day recap, I'm pretty much just going to go over race day is what race day is, how I kind of get my day going for race day, so from the morning all the way through pretty much to the starting line. And then I'm going to also go over just pretty much how my process went into the actual race, how I started, how I kind of, took on the middle portion of the race, and then how I look to finish it. And then we're going to go into a nice conclusion, just going into what's coming next. And pretty much that's going to be it for today's video, maybe a little bit shorter. However, the Philly 10K, like I said, was very great. Very exciting. I had a lot of fun, and I'm excited to really get into more racing and more training. However, overall was a great time.
What's good, y'all? It is race day. It's currently 3:30 in the morning, just waking up. I'm about to go through I like to call it a rising routine, or just something I do when I wake up, just to kind of get my mind right. So I'll go through some affirmations. I'll journal 3 pages, which takes me about 30 minutes, which is why I'm up super early, so I can journal. Then I'm gonna get into just a warm up to get my muscles activated for today's race, get my mind right, get my body right, really align and ground myself. I didn't really sleep the best. Sometimes before races, I really do not sleep good. I get a lot of pre-race anxiety. And so I'm going to use this time to kind of just ground myself, calm down, and, just set myself up for a great race day. And let's keep it. All right, so just got done my warm up. I didn't record it because I like to kind of just take that time really just for myself, get my mind right, get locked in. I have certain playlists that I also put on during my warm-up. A pretty good warm-up, feeling pretty solid, and I feel really fresh. Like I did a taper this past week. Legs feel good, my feet are feeling good, and this is probably the best I have ever felt going into a race. Last year, and even earlier this year for the Love Run, was dealing with a lot of plantar fasciitis, a lot of pain, I'll say pain and injuries within my ankles and Achilles, more so earlier this year, getting ready for the Love Run. So I'm feeling really fresh, feeling really well rested physically, and just ready to go. But just to continue to just go on through how I get myself prepared, I'm taking a Symbiotica Golden Mind. I've done this a couple times in the past before races, but it just kind of helps with just mental focus, and then mental energy as well, which is very crucial for racing. And then I'm also going to go into just some applesauce, organic applesauce, straight apples, nothing else in this. And this is pretty much my pre-race fuel. I do have some dried figs that I may eat after I get done my warm-up outside before the race starts. I also got some coconut water that I have, and I have a smoothie. I have coconut water for before and after the race, and then I have a smoothie prepared just so I can focus on just getting that nourishment, some carbohydrates, some protein into my body, so I can continue to function well through the rest of my day and jumpstart the recovery process. Also, I want to eat something very nourishing before going to brunch. I like starting my days with a smoothie with some fruit. That's what I've been doing lately, so definitely want to keep that rolling even on race day. So a few months ago, I also found this really cool cooler, and I wanted to get it to just keep everything cool for races. So we look inside. I have my 2 coconut waters, my smoothie. It's probably a lot of ice. Maybe they need this much ice, but I want to make sure everything stays cool for the next couple of hours. I drink again 1 coconut water before the race, and I got another one for afterwards, just getting some natural electrolytes and really staying hydrated before and after, which is very crucial to overall performance and recovery. All right, so I want to say over probably like the past month, we're getting into some pre-run walks. I feel like it just helps to stabilize my heart rate, keeps me calm, gets me a little bit loose. And then I will go into a 1 mile, very easy warm up, get into my max aerobic heart rate at 147, and then pretty much, get going to the race. My walk will probably be I got a lot of time before the race starts, maybe about 15 to 20 minutes. And then the 1 mile warm up will probably be about 10 to 11 minutes. So pretty simple, pretty easy, get my mind right, get my body right, and very excited, very, very looking forward to running fast. I've been doing a lot of aerobic work lately, so it'll be nice to get into some anaerobic work, get some speed in, and have fun.
All right, so once the race kicked off, pretty much the biggest thing for me to focus on was to not go super fast. It can be very easy, again, as I said in previous video, to just go super fast right out the gate. But I feel like for me, it was going to be key to, not try to keep up with everyone in Corral A, as that is the fastest corral of, pretty much every race. And I definitely held my own pretty well. My first mile was about a 6:30. Came back a little bit from there on mile 2, which is about a 6:54, and then from miles 3 to 4, I maintained about a 7:15, which was perfect. It was a little bit behind of where I wanted to be goal-wise, as I wanted to stay below 7. However, that 7:15 pace really gave me a nice amount of energy to finish strong at the end. My last mile, I believe, was about a 7:07, which is perfect. And this was much more improved from last year, as I had a much faster, or not say much faster, I did have a faster time in last year's race. However, I definitely felt dead at the end. I didn't have the same amount of energy. My body was definitely taxed a lot more following last year's race, and I feel like this year I had a stronger finish, was able to sprint a little bit more to the finish line. And then even following the race, I feel really good. Like I have, or pretty much little to no pain or injuries or soreness. I have a little bit of soreness in my quads, inner thighs, a little bit in my calves, but no major joint pain, especially around the knees, the ankles, and the hips. And my feet feel really well too. I remember last year, before the Philly 10K, my feet and my ankle, I had suffered a right ankle injury, but I had really bad plantar fasciitis in both feet, and I woke up with a lot of pain in my heel, soreness within my ankle. And this year, none of that. Felt really good during the race, felt really smooth, and then also following the race felt really good. Now I will say my heart rate did get up there, so I do have to work on that a little bit more, just keeping my heart rate a little bit lower so I can have more energy to go faster. It was a little bit warmer. I do have the Philly half marathon coming up, which I think it'll be much cooler, and with that cooler temperature, I'll be able to maintain a faster pace going into that race. But that's another time. We're focusing on the Philly 10K right now. But overall, it was a great race, great finish, and I'm really excited to just continue on. And I think one of the also great times was, again, just being able to spend time with my family following the race. Took some nice pictures, went out to brunch at PS & Co. Enjoyed the breakfast platter, enjoyed some of my family's food as well. My mom got some blueberry pancakes, sister got some regular pancakes, my grandma got the grilled cheese, so did my sister. My niece enjoyed a bagel and some cinnamon roll too, but all around great food, great energy, great day. And that's, what race day is all about. It's about getting up. As I said in the last video, you want to show up, be great, and have fun. And that's what it's all about. And that's exactly what I did. I did have a lot of anxiety or anxiousness pre-race, which definitely I feel as though is me putting a lot of pressure on myself. I like to perform well, and I work hard. I spend a lot of time, a lot of energy. I wake up early so I can put the miles in, get my training done on the road with my running, and also in the gym with my strength training. And I expect myself to perform at a certain level. Again, I did say that I was a little bit short of my goal of maintaining 7-minute pace or below. I did have a 7:06 average pace finish, and I finished the race in 44 minutes and 10 seconds, which is still great. However, I do have a lot more work to do, some improvements to make, and I'm looking forward to getting back into the work and continue to build my aerobic base, continue to improve with my speed as well. And I think it's all about just enjoying the journey, staying consistent, and the big thing for me is staying injury free, which was something great leading up to the Philly 10K. I don't feel too stressed even following the race, so that's a big win for me. And also, one thing that really kept me going during the Philly 10K was the energy and overall atmosphere and environment from the announcers, all the way from singing the national anthem to the individuals in the audience, having my family there, as I said, and just so much energy that just keeps you going throughout the full 6 miles, 6.2 miles to be exact, because it does get hard, it does get tough, especially when you're running at your fastest pace, you're going all out, you're doing your best. It can be tough. However, when you see the crowd, you get those cheers, it really just keeps you going and keeps you pushing during the race. And me, myself, I also like to keep my Strava open so I can, one, see what my heart rate is, so I make sure I'm not going too high. Even though the heart rate was elevated during this race, it was straight all anaerobic work, so that is something that I do have to work on. However, I love to, really see where my pace is at during the race, and it allows me to pace myself make sure I'm not going too fast, and staying focused and locked in on my own race. However, having a great support system, you know, from the city of Philadelphia is always fantastic in the races, and it definitely was seen and felt during the Philly 10K. And as we close out this video, I want to say, number one, thank you for following along in this series with me. It was very fun putting this together. I really am grateful for your support, your presence, and, you know, really listening to me. I had a great time sharing information and sharing knowledge and my experience of what I'm learning through running on my own journey. So I'm looking forward to keeping that going. I do want to get into a little bit more nutrition as I shift out of the Philly 10K build series, maybe a little bit more exercises that can also be done in addition to what we're doing on the road when we are running. And I think personally for me, I'm going into a recovery week following the Philly 10K just so I can, you know, keep injury risk to a minimum and really jumpstart my recovery process, or my body's ability to feel refreshed going into my next training block. Another 4-week training block, and then also as I get closer and closer to building up to that Philly half marathon in November. It's going to be 13 miles, so my mileage on Saturdays is definitely going to pick up. I'm looking forward to getting back into my 5 miles per day on Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and then again my long run will be Saturday. So again, that mileage will pick up there. I'm excited for those longer runs. It's always very peaceful and calm and chill. And then as we get closer to the race, I may dial back my volume just a little bit, maybe taking one day off, or even lowering the amount of running I'm doing, maybe on one or two or the 2 of the days of the week where I normally run those 5 miles. But pretty much just looking forward to the journey, going to be listening to my body a lot and just changing things up as I see fit. But again, thank you for following along on this journey with me going into the Philly 10K. It's a lot of fun, a lot of great energy. Looking forward to next year. I do think the Philly 10K is probably going to be a yearly race for me, as it's a lot of fun. I love the course, nice and flat, and I want to be able to see improvements within that same course each year. So a lot of fun, a lot of great times, and I want to say again, thank you. If you would like more support on your journey, feel free to shoot me an email at Suleiman@hoodhealersorganics.com. Follow along on my Instagram at Suleiman414. You know, check out our website, hoodhealersorganics.com, and feel free to always ask me any questions or let me know of any support that you need. But I will check y'all on the next one. Peace and love.